just turn it down a bit. Good evening, happy Thursday, nearly said Friday, and welcome to another evening of Theatre&Tonic with myself, Emmy. And this evening we will be joined by Emmanuel Kojo, who is part of the Beauty and the Beast UK tour, which is coming very soon. So he has arrived. I will get him in. But if you have any questions for him about the production or work he's done before, he's very into activism and issues surrounding the arts. So if you have any questions about those kind of topics, then please do leave them below. I will add him in. And I'll turn this down so I don't get copyrighted for Beauty and the Beast song. So that wouldn't be a great start to my week. Hello!
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Found a little quiet spot. It's like in Liverpool Street somewhere, so it's worked out.
It's great. Thank you so much for your time this evening. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you. Thank you.
And I'm sure you've got lots coming up with the Beauty and the Beast tour. Yeah. And things like that, and obviously you've been working on other things that I know that we've been talking about, so we'll get right into it. So could you start with telling us a little bit about where it started for you with your career?
So it was this is actually, so there was a girl that I fancied in Austria who was in the drama club, and that was my first experience. I really fancied this girl, and then I went along. And then I was like, oh, I kind of like this, but I didn't really take it serious. And then when I moved to Manchester, it was when I went to Pendleton College. I think that's when I decided that I was going to pursue a career in acting. But like many things, it always starts with a girl.
Brilliant. And what was it then that you think has kind of kept that alive for you with theatre? What do you think has really kind of kept you going?
I mean, for me personally, I'm like, there's nothing better. Like, I feel so lucky every day to be able to do this job and to kind of, you know, theatre, screen, you know, like, we're super, super lucky people to be able to do something that we love, because that's rare and that's really, really special. So I think for me, it's the people that I've been lucky to come and meet throughout, but also I think the jobs, definitely experiencing all of these new shows well, in my case, more the older ones. But I guess like the characters and exploring and being able to kind of literally take on something that's so removed from your own self. Yeah.
Absolutely. And what was the transition like then for you, from going from studying to your first professional job? What was that transition like for you?
So in our third year, when we were in third year, we were allowed to start auditioning. So then we started auditioning for Scottish Boys whilst we were at school. And then I think we got the job whilst we were still at school, and then I had the summer to kind of like, I went on holiday, had a nice time, and then we started rehearsals. But I think it was definitely it was too good to be real as a first job, because we were treated so well. We were, you know, like Scottish Boys was such a heavy subject, but I think for me, doing the research for the show, I think brought up a lot of other things that I hadn't learned about or researched before, heard about, and I think it definitely changed the type of work that I wanted to do. Like, that show had such a massive impact on me and the people that I got to work with and learn from. And I think it was definitely, I was very, very lucky. But also, I hate saying the word lucky, but you know, because you work for what you have.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But I think I definitely had a lot of people guiding me, and I've made like loads of mistakes along the way, and I feel like that's all a part of it. But I think I definitely had a lot of mentors who guided me in the right direction. Maybe I should have listened to some of them more.
That's all part of the learning process, though. So do you think your heritage, is that really important to you as a performer in such a big industry? Has it been really important for you with your heritage to kind of find your place in the industry?
I think absolutely. Like, I was born in Ghana, I was raised in Austria, then Manchester. So like, I've moved around a lot. I feel like I'm definitely like an amalgamation of so many different things. But I think I'm definitely Ghana is where I was born, so it's something that I'm very, very proud of. And even Austria and Manchester and here, you know, so I feel like I think of home as like London is home, but then all my family live in Manchester. So it's kind of having the mixture of it all for me. It's just quite a special thing.
Yeah.
But I never forget where I come from.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously you're not just a performer, you're quite into activism, you do a lot of work with that. So, and obviously you serve on the Equity Council. What are you actually passionate about? What is kind of what drives you, do you think?
Do you know what? I think if I can make a better change for my kids, I think that's what drives me. That if I see something that bothers me, or if I see something that I feel is wrong, if I can make it that little bit less hard for my children, then I feel like I've done like my bit.
Absolutely. And obviously you were quite heavily involved in a campaign against racist reviews and racism in the arts. So what spearheaded this particularly for you?
So it was the review that we our show, it was actually from the stage, and then we ended up working with the stage. So it was one of those things. I think at the time I remember reading it and I just got read and I was like, at the end of the day, you're not even talking about the show, you're talking about the color of my skin. You know, you're not talking about actually what it is. But anyway, we ended up then working with them, and I guess now we're going to keep working with them moving forward. So I think, like anything, like my best friend during lockdown kind of said to me, like in life, when you're dealt poison, you can either take that poison into you or you turn that poison into medicine. And I feel like that was a situation where we really did that, and like we took a really shitty situation and turned into something really good. And there's so much more work to be done. And so many more people, you know, that I think so many people are working from all angles. I think that's what's important. But work never stops, and there's still so much more to do. But I think people are definitely more willing to listen, and people are definitely more willing to kind of take the time to actually go, all right, well, things have to change.
Absolutely. And so what kind of work then did this entail? What did you have to have a lot of conversations and things? Was it very conversation based?
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of Zoom calls, as is because we couldn't be in person. But yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Zoom. Like, I'm such a like physical person. Like, I love connecting with people in real life. But we had a lot of Zoom calls, and some of them were honestly triggering in so many ways. But you know, I had Hannah. It was just, I had a lot of people working with us who made this possible, and I think that's the thing, knowing that there are so many people who are willing to do the work with you and willing to like really graft together to make stuff happen and to make change happen, because it's not easy. It's not easy to make change.
No, and like you say, there's so much still conversations that need to be had. You know, it's not a case of you do this one piece of work and this campaign and then it's forgotten about. So I guess for you, you're kind of keen to keep doing that, aren't you? To keep carrying these conversations on. Yeah,
absolutely, and we will. And I think like we're gonna have another meeting hopefully in the next couple of weeks or months, depending on like timing and stuff, of what to do next and how we actively engage and make sure that people actually do these changes and think about what they are putting about. Because I think there's nothing more frustrating. Like, talk to me about my craft. That's never going to affect me. Like, that's just a personal thing. But if all you can talk about is the color of my skin, then I get angry.
Yeah.
Because it's exhausting.
Yeah, absolutely. And has anything kind of surprised you about working on this campaign? Have you kind of like experienced things that you were kind of not aware of?
Like, I wish I could say I am surprised. Like, I'm not surprised by, I guess, the keyboard warriors, like the racist keyboard warriors that they've come along. Because I think sometimes people kind of go, oh no, Britain is, you know, like the UK, we're not racist. I'm literally like, racism is ripe. It's just, I feel like in this country, it's just maybe more under the carpet racism. Whereas America, it's more in your face.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people like to think we are so, you know, I feel like sometimes as well, because living in London, well, it's quite a bubble. But also there's still so much racism in London every day. So I think it's just important to have these conversations, also actively engage to make a change. Because I feel like when I was younger, I think I just complained all the time, and I was like, oh, this is wrong, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're gonna sit and moan about it, do something about it.
Yeah. You're kind of fighting with your own thoughts, but actually not putting anything into action, aren't you? Because I guess you were kind of so aware of it, but I guess sometimes you kind of felt a bit hopeless to what you could do at the same
Absolutely.
time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is the thing of kind of having, and it's hard to make the decision to go, actually, I want to be a part of something. I want to try and change something. I want to make a change so that I guess my kids one day don't have to. But it's one of those, like, kind of, all we can do is just do our part and then see what happens, and try and actively engage every time we see something that isn't right.
Yeah, and I definitely think, you know, I was kind of aware of all these issues, but I do think the pandemic kind of opened them up a little bit more, you know, and we had that time to have these conversations. So do you think the pandemic has had a really positive effect in that way, that it's kind of caused these conversations, or do you think there's still been some kind of...
I think yes and no, in terms of the pandemic has helped, but it's also heightened other things and made other things so much worse. And I think this is the thing where I just, you know, I feel like it swings one way before we find that medium, if you know what I mean. And I think it has given us all, like, you know, we were all forced to breathe. We were all forced to, like, sit with ourselves for so long. And I think that gave us all an opportunity to, I guess, look in the mirror and go, well, what do I like? What do I not like? What do I need to change? And whatever that is. And I think that for me has been, I don't know, the biggest thing from the pandemic, kind of going, I had to change a lot in the last few, like 16 months, for the better. And I'm still making mistakes. I'm still learning so much, but I'm so grateful for the last 16 months.
Absolutely. So what did you kind of try and focus on over the last 16 months? What do you think's really benefited you coming out of the other side of the pandemic?
I think it was just being honest with myself and, like, going to therapy, taking the time to actually, like, look after my mental health, because then actually I feel like since I've done that, I can then actually face, like, I feel like therapy gave me the tools to deal with everything. And if I'm not, then I have to just, like, take time and just sit with myself and think about these things. And I guess it's things that I never used to do, even like crying. Like, I remember, I think before the pandemic, I think I'd cried like 3 times in my life, because it was one of those things, you know, ever since, like, men don't cry, you know, you're tough enough, you carry on whatever it is. But since the pandemic, I've cried a lot, and it's been amazing. It's an amazing release. Like, if I need to cry, I'll cry. And I think I don't know, there's so many factors, but I think for me it's like therapy and exercise. And exercise is like part of my therapy. Just, I think, looking after myself, like, mentally, physically, all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And is there any kind of advice you give for people who want to kind of engage into the conversations about racism in theatre? Is there any kind of places they can go or get involved in? Because I guess I don't hear enough about it, you know, and I think some people are kind of like, I want to get involved, but how do I get involved? You know,
I think do you know what? It's like Gary Zukov is a man who wrote this book, The Seat of the Soul. And he kind of said, change happens within yourself first, and then your innermost circle, and then it spreads out. So it's one of those, like, people have the conversations with yourselves, your family, your friends, and then your peers, your friends of color, and the people, because I think it is one of those things of, there's a lot to be done, but I think there's strength in unity rather than division, because I feel like at times a lot of the things that happen divides us.
Yeah.
And it doesn't actually bring us together. So I think I would always just say, talk openly and honest with your friends and family, and call them out when they do say shit that is racist or not okay, homophobic, you know, whatever it is. I think it's just about having the transparency within each individual groups and parts of our lives.
Yeah, and do you think then, as a result of all these conversations as well, that, like, the theatre industry have kind of become more united about these kind of issues, or do you still feel there's still a lot of work there to be done? Or
I think there's still a lot of work. I think there's still a lot of work to be done, because I think people are more open to it. But you know, it's like, for me, I stay off Twitter purely because I sometimes just find it not a very communal space.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's just a lot of attacking, and I'm like, you know what? Just think about the issue and think about how we actually engage to actually solve the issue, not add or find more issues. And I feel like at the moment it's a lot of like everybody being offended by everything all the time.
Yeah, I know. I completely agree with that. I think Twitter's more on the let's kind of heighten the things that are wrong instead of where we're going right.
It's like we're not looking at the root of the issues. People are looking at the branch, like so many other things, and it's always I'm like, anything, look at the root. That is where you're supposed to go first, and then you can, you know, work from there.
Absolutely. So this moves us on nicely to obviously talking about Beauty and the Beast, which is obviously an amazing show to be part of. So how does it feel to be part of what everyone is praising to be such a diverse cast?
Do you know what? It's for me, I'm like, that should be the norm. Like, they cast who they thought, you know, they cast who they wanted for the jobs, and I think that's what's so beautiful about cast. Also, just seeing the amount of people and across the board, I feel like it's special. Like I was looking at the costume designs, I'm just so lucky. You know, when you just sit there and you're like, I'm literally living a little dream. Not even a little dream. I'm living like a massive dream. And it's insane to have so many friends to do this with, and new friends, and I guess having all of the original creative team working on this piece. I think it's like I'm so excited to get started. It's going to be insane.
And do you think it was received really well? Are you happy with how people have kind of spoke about this? And do you think it was the right kind of choice, if that makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think people are going to love, because it's completely brand new. It's completely different to any other version that ever has been. Even the costumes below is so different to anything that it was before. And I think the song, the news, you know, music, the scripts, everything is going to be insane. And I just can't. I can't wait for the 5th of July on the first day of rehearsals to get in there and really just like get cracking on it.
So how are you preparing for this role since lockdown? Because obviously going into Beauty and the Beast, it is going to be such a big production, but also with the whole COVID like restrictions, but also a touring schedule again. How are you kind of trying to prepare yourself for that?
So I've been having singing lessons with our MD, which I kind of just because, you know, like we haven't, well, you know, most of us haven't been doing 8 shows a week for God knows how long, and I just felt that it would be really, really important to just get around, have some singing lessons, go through the material, and I've just got the script, so I've read through the entire play, and now it's just about going through the script, learning the script, so that I can, because I said to myself, I was like, I'm going to be off book for when we start rehearsals. I was like, I've got a week and a bit to be off book, but I think just taking time, and also I'm moving out of my house. Like, I'm going to be living on the road for this entire year, which is just mad because I've lived in this house for the last 5 years. So it's been a proper home. So it's going to be sad moving out, and I haven't packed one thing yet.
Oh, we'll leave the packing. No one needs to pack.
Yeah. So I feel like that's something that I need to start maybe this weekend.
Yeah, you might want to. So how are you planning to get to grips with the iconic story? Because obviously Beauty and the Beast comes with quite a big reputation. You know, it has obviously the Disney feature film, and it's obviously had a couple of productions here and there. So how are you planning to get to grips with such an iconic story, but such a iconic role as well?
Do you know what? Because I think it's about the story. So it's about the people, and it's about these well, they are kids who literally he's never been challenged by anybody his entire life, and this girl comes in and challenges him, and for her, she's been in her world, and she meets something that initially she's like repulsed by, and then she sees different things, and I think for me like with anything that I do, it's always about the story. And it's always about like people and what they're doing, what they're going through. And I think that for me, it just always goes down to the script and what it is that I guess, you know, every character, same as people, what is it that they want? You know, he wants to be free again. He wants to be himself, and he actually doesn't realize the lesson comes through that journey. But he's thinking about the end and not the journey. Like most of us, we're always thinking ahead, always thinking about the next thing, always, but actually forget to like remember that it is a journey, that it is kind of, it takes time. I think for me, that's why I'm really, and also singing this, like If I Can't Love Her, like, is one of the most beautiful songs I think musical did. So just and seeing all of the dances and the singing, oh my god, I can't. I'm literally gonna be stood in the wings just watching.
So is there a moment of the show as you've been like reading the script that you're kind of like, wow, I can't wait to see how that kind of unfolds? Is there a moment in particular that you're kind of ready to see how that kind of grows?
Gaston, I can't wait to see, because I think it's going to be a lot. Be our guest. I mean, I feel like there's so many, and definitely I think the library scene. I feel like that is definitely going to be, because I think the set is incredible, but just that reveal for her to see, and you know, to see that library for the first time in the Beast Castle, but also just, I think for me, the set and everything as well. Like I can't wait to see all of that. Like there's, and the fact is, like everything is, so much is new in this show. So we're going to be discovering lots of new things. So it's going to be exciting for us, you know, and then I can imagine the audience to experience this entire brand new version.
Yeah, absolutely. It's more of a spectacular production, isn't it? It is the grand thing, isn't it?
You know, and it really is, I think, about the heart of the show personally, I think, is about how love can transform us.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got loads of questions from Stage Door Joe, which is great. So they asked, how long have you known about the Beauty and the Beast?
So I think we auditioned either like September, October, and I think found out, I want to say like October, November. Yeah, I think it was around then.
What was that audition process like? Was it a lot different because of COVID and stuff? Or?
Yeah. So like, you know, normally like going, you'd be able to like hug them and say hi, or like, you know, whatever. You know, there was none of that, but you could feel the love. Like they were smiling under their mask, and, you know, sending you love from afar. And then in the last audition, because I guess the US team had come over and been isolating, ready to meet everybody in the final. And then because of lockdown being announced, I guess they all had to go back. So then we had all of the like UK team present, but the US team were on like screens in the middle.
No.
But you know what? You could really feel, like I said it from the beginning, it was like we felt so supported throughout that audition process. It felt like so, because you know, like I feel like you can feel the love that is there for this show, because they've all done it from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think it's, you really can't, I think it makes a difference when people love their job and love what they're doing, because it creates different type of energy, and it creates the best kind of energy for me, because that's the kind of energy you want to work with and you want to be around, and it allows you to not be scared to play.
Yeah. What can people expect from Beauty and the Beast?
What can people expect from Beauty and the Beast? Do you know what? I think people can expect completely incredibly sung songs, a beautiful story that is, you know, spectacularly like brand new, imagined, and I think just a lot of love, and a lot of like amazing Disney magic as well. That's what it's called, Disney magic. It's kind of going like the transformation and things, and I think dance numbers, like incredible dance numbers, incredible singing, incredible costumes. The costumes are ridiculous. I was speechless when I saw the designs. They're ridiculous. So
We just need to come to see the costumes now.
It's gonna be insane, honestly.
And how many weeks of rehearsals do you have? Because I guess it's quite a tight ship with everything going on.
So I think we've got 3 weeks of rehearsals in the studio. Then we move into the theatre for more rehearsals in there. And I think I would say like, I want to say maybe 5, 6 weeks, including tech. I think around then. Yeah.
That's not too bad then.
We start on the 5th of July, and then the first preview is on the 25th of August, if I'm correct.
Ooh. So what does Playing the Beast mean to you as Emmanuel and as a performer?
I think I would say it is definitely the biggest honour of my life so far, because I think I love the darker roles. If you know, I'm definitely much more drawn to those kind of characters, and being able to explore somebody like him who, you know, like I always say, whenever people are that way, there's a reason why they are that way.
Yeah.
And they're always hurting, and there's a reason why they're hurting. So being able to explore that, I think for me is what I'm really excited about, to kind of explore him and why he's the way that he is, and why he does things the way that he does. In even simple things like people carry certain things in their bodies, to kind of being able to explore the body of their, but also his song. I think this, like, they are so beautiful. So I think I feel like I said, like I feel like I'm living this dream where I feel so blessed to be able to kind of be a part of this show.
Absolutely. And honestly, there's so much stage door, Joe. You might as well take over. What theatre are you most looking forward to visiting on the tour? However, I'm still annoyed you're not coming to the Curve. So annoyed. Honestly.
I mean, we would have been in Leicester now.
No.
Corona. Oh, Corona. I would say I'm really looking forward to going to all of them, because a lot of the cities I've never been to. I've never been to Bristol. I think I briefly went to Liverpool, like passing through. So I'm looking forward to actually. I can't even pick one, so I'm just going to say all of them. And I'm definitely looking forward to going home to Manchester, because that's where all my family are, and that's when my family will be able to like come and see the show. So I think that's going to be, you know,
yeah, that'll be like the special one for you then, I suppose.
Yeah. Going home, we're there for like 10 weeks, so I think that's going to be, that's going to be a lot.
Although your real answer to that should have been Leicester, because I'm so
I should have said Leicester. Yeah. Leicester Curve.
Yeah, oh, honestly, mortified that you're not coming. I did have a comment from Mark that says, we need Evermore in the stage show right now, though, please. Evermore?
Do you know what? I can't even lie. I'm not the biggest fan of that song. So, I know, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Right, good job you're not coming to Leicester then. God, that would have been really awkward.
If I can't love her.
Yes, and not, yeah.
Because you know what, as well, I think it was one of the things that Rob said during the auditions. He said that If I Can't Love Her is his suicide note. And I'd never, ever thought about it like that. And I was like, actually, when you read the words, it completely and utterly makes sense. That he's thought, you know, he's literally, he's thought about this. He's done. And I think that is a lot, but I think it's what it then changes the song in a lot of ways. And I think it makes it better.
Absolutely. Mark has said he's not buying tickets now. Just because of Evermore.
I'll see you there, Mark. I'll see you there, Mark. Mate. I'll see you there.
We were literally talking about it the other day. We were like, right, we need to go, but where can we go? Because obviously, because you're not coming to the Curve, we were like, right, we need to find like the nearest way we can get to somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's not too much.
What is the nearest? What would be the nearest?
I don't know, because I'm in Leicester, so let me find. I'm going to look now, because I can't remember. We did look the other day.
There's Bristol, Liverpool, Edinburgh, Cardiff at the moment, right? Yeah.
I mean, the annoying thing is I'm actually in Bristol this weekend, and I'm like, damn it, one weekend to go. Let's have a look. Well, I could probably get up to Liverpool.
Oh yeah. And Liverpool's nice.
I love Liverpool. Nice. Great area. It's beautiful up there. Yeah, we'll book them, even if Evermore isn't in it. How awkward.
I mean, not gonna lie, you're gonna be spoiled for songs.
Yeah, so by the end of it,
Songs.
we will forget about Evermore existed.
Yeah. I do feel like you will forget about it because the songs are insane. Like, I mean, it is just one of the most beautiful films. Like, I've watched the animated feature so many times. Like, I was watching it during the auditions. I watched it up. Like, yeah, I've watched it a lot.
You're not sick of it yet?
No.
Not yet.
No, not yet. Not yet.
What is your ultimate Disney film of all time, in your opinion?
Do you know what? I think I have three. So yeah, I don't have one. So Beauty and the Beast, obviously. Enchanted, and then The Little Mermaid.
Yes, Little Mermaid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like Ariel started off like my little crush for ginger women.
I think she must have done most of them, you know. I think most men have a thing for redheaded women. It's quite natural. Stage door Joe has said he's planning a few trips to see Beauty and the Beast during the show. Hopefully he can meet you at stage door. They're the biggest fan.
I'll definitely see you after.
But only if you'll sing Evermore to them.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if I don't sing Evermore to you, you're not coming.
No. Not coming. No, I'm joking. So over the lockdown, did you see any of the streams?
Pardon?
Over the lockdown, did you watch any of the streamed performances?
So I watched 𝗘𝗺.
Amazing.
Ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Like,
Just,
ridiculous.
yeah, beautiful. I think it deserves a place on the West End. So that
Yeah,
was
it was ridiculous. And I watched Rent. Yeah, Rent was like mad. Dom's voice is chocolate. Like,
yeah.
Chocolate. And then like I've said it to Tom so many times. And like Tom, like I'm his number one fan. Tom Francis. I'm his number one fan. He's ridiculous. Like, he is a god. He's insane.
Brilliant. So if I gave you the choice, so I'm going to put you in charge of the West End, and you can put on any 5 shows you want. What 5 shows would you pick?
Myself and Amara will do 𝗘𝗺.
Okay.
Misty, Arinze's Misty, which he did. I love In the Heights. Like the one that Paul used, like In the Heights was. I feel like I watched that show so many times that every time I left, just on a high. So definitely In the Heights again. Matilda, well, it's already there, so I can't know. So it has to be things that aren't there, right?
Yeah.
Lady Day, Audra McDonald's Lady Day. Did you see that?
I don't think I have seen it. I've heard a lot about it. Oh no, look, now I'm getting judged.
Yeah. Do you know what? You missed out. That's what I'm gonna do. It was like I was on stage, and so like some seats are on stage, and she fell into my arms, and I just couldn't believe that was Audra McDonald in my. I mean, she lingered on my arm. Can't lie, she lingered a little bit, and I was like, Audra lingered on my arm. And then I think the last one probably. A really ragtime.
Yes.
I want to do ragtime too, so yeah.
Oh, I've been told Lady Day is on Broadway HD. Right, I will get on that. See, I can't see it.
You should watch it. It's insane. It's literally insane. And I mean, Audra McDonald is Audra McDonald. She's a goddess, you know. But Lady Day is insane.
Oh, amazing. Thank you for those choices. So to round this up, and so that I can get you out of finding a tiny space at the station.
It's cute. It's, you know, slow.
I love the commitment, to be fair. I really appreciate the commitment. So to sum it up, why do you think people should book tickets to see Beauty and the Beast?
I think people should book tickets to see Beauty and the Beast because they are going to be blown away by the singing, the dancing, the acting, and one of the most beautiful stories of all time.
But there's no evermore.
You've got. If I Can't Love Her, you've got so many. You've got all of it. You've got Belle. You've got me. You've got Be Our Guest. You've got options, babe. We're giving you options.
But if you were able to play another character in the show, who would you play?
Oh my God, good question. I think. Do you know what? I think it'd be Chip.
Amazing. I thought you were going to say Mrs. Potts. I was like, say Mrs. Potts. You went to Chip.
Yeah, I think definitely Chip.
Oh, brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time, Emmanuel. I really appreciate it. It's been really lovely chatting to you.
Thank you, and you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
No, you're more than welcome. And hopefully I will see you when I come up to Liverpool. I'll come up to Liverpool.
Definitely. I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. So, I'm gonna.
Okay, well, I'll book them. I can send you a confirmation. Say, look, I'm coming there.
Send me your confirmation email.
I will do. Thank you so much for your time. It's really lovely talking to you.
And you, my love. And you, man.
Take care. See you later.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye. That was such a great chat with Emmanuel about Beauty and the Beast, his work in activism, and his kind of where his love for theatre came. I really enjoyed that chat. I am actually going to go and book some tickets now for Beauty and the Beast because I feel like I've got to keep my word. And I really hope you've enjoyed this Q&A this evening. Just to let you know a little bit of an announcement whilst we're here, I might as well use you guys whilst I'm here. I have officially joined the Box Office Radio team and I am hosting my own show once a week called My Musical Mixtape, which incorporates people from theatre sharing their top 10 songs from shows and movies. So hopefully in the next couple of days I'll be able to announce when my first show is and who my first guest is. But it's basically kind of trying to use this Theatre&Tonic series that I've been doing and put it on a new platform. So that's really exciting. But thank you so much for joining me and Emmanuel this evening for a Q&A, and I will be back with you very soon. Take care.